panic, we're in over our heads again. We know this is what we're meant to do. So we wake up, put our feet on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow.
Welcome, everybody, to the Coffee Chat Show. I am Sondra Ray. I am the owner of Get It Done Coaching and VA Services, and I am going to be co-hosting with the amazing Peter and, of course, Nestene, and we are going to talk about manifesting. I think that's what we're talking about. Okay, Peter, usually you're the one that doesn't know, and it's to me today. When the computer locks up 10 minutes before you're supposed to go live, it just totally throws you into a panic mode. But how are you today, Peter?
Absolutely brilliant. Today what we're actually going to be discussing is mindset, entrepreneurial mindset. Close. But
I looked at it earlier, and then, like I said, the whole panic of, wait, the computer crashing totally threw me off.
Normally it's the other way around. Normally I'm the one that needs to ask you because you generally got it down pat.
That's very impressive. Sondra, you've clearly done some Peter training. Can we all just give Sondra a standing ovation?
I usually do it before we even start, but again, the whole being behind has to put me in a little bit of a tailspin. So I got it. Transferring fuel to fire, working on entrepreneurial mindset. So, all right. And I heard that Miss Nestene is gracing us with her appearance today. So thank you, Nestene, for joining us today. We miss you all the time. But I heard Nestene is going to talk to us about this because she's already wrote a blog post on this, and she is somewhat of an expert on this. Take it away, Nestene.
Oh, Sondra, you're so amazing, and thank you. I feel so welcome. Literally every time I come to the coffee shop show, it's like coming home. So just thank you so much for holding this space, and for all of you that help to make this space what it is. We currently have Somerville visiting us, one of our other tribe humans from the other side of South Africa. She literally took a trip down with her family in a caravan, across South Africa, just to get to us and to be here. And that's what being a tribe member is all about. And that's the feeling that I'm getting today in this room as well. It's like I'm seeing family. So just thank you for that. I will launch into this post. So what we're doing for the next couple of topics, basically we have launched Business Academy Cafe with Rob from South African Accounting Academy. So me and Peter have stepped into that venture. Yay! So Business Academy Cafe is going to be the knowledge part that goes with the community building. So Explore ProTech will always be our community, our family. It's where we live. It's our home. But Business Academy Cafe is going to come in and give all of us a chance to showcase our entrepreneurial courses, get our blogs and our thoughts on there, and basically deal with the skills around being an entrepreneur. So that's what we're starting today. So as part of that process, Sondra has so graciously agreed to give us 5 minutes every single coffee shop show to talk about a different blog post that we've published on this website, which I basically already almost used up. So I think I should get started.
I think you should.
Okay, but now at least everyone knows what's going on. Okay, so this post that I wrote is called Transforming Fear to Fuel, Mastering the Entrepreneurial Mindset for Business Success. And I'm going to just start with reading you the first paragraph because I just want to see the reactions in the room. Okay. Ever found yourself, so now you guys need to listen and react because we're watching your faces for reaction, okay? Ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wrestling with the gnawing fear that your entrepreneurial dream might just be a castle built on sand? You've poured your heart, soul, and savings into this venture, yet every step forward feels like a battle against quicksand. You watch others soar and wonder, what are they doing that I'm not? You've read every self-help book, attended seminars, and maybe even splurged on pricey courses. Yet here you are feeling like you're running a never-ending marathon, gasping for breath, but the finish line keeps moving further away. It's exhausting, disheartening, and frankly, you're starting to question if it's all worth it. So I think everyone in the room is now sufficiently depressed. But it's a hopeful blog post. So my message to you today is if you feel like that, that is normal. That is part of what being an entrepreneur is all about. That happens to all of us. In that moment, you're going to feel, I have some signs in the blog post. You're going to experience increased signs of stress. You might notice some negative self-talk like, oh, I'll never make it. It's never going to work out. I'm just not good enough. You might notice procrastination.
That's me.
Yeah, Peter is a living example of procrastination. You might feel overwhelmed, like, oh my goodness, it's all just too much. How am I going to do everything all at once? You might start doubting your abilities or fixating on potential failures. So all of these are signs that I have listed in this blog post, and I kind of explain how to start noticing them. What I want you to do from now on, if you are in that space, if you start noticing these signs, you have to know that all that is happening is you're slipping into a fear-based mindset. That is all that's happening. And that is so normal. It happens to entrepreneurs. It happens to everyone. What we need to do from that moment onwards, though, we need to realize that you don't need to build the whole castle tomorrow to take this fear away. You don't need to all of a sudden become Elon Musk. You don't need to all of a sudden be able to do all the 64,100 things on your to-do list. All you have to be able to do at this moment in time, if you're feeling like this, is become aware of it. Become aware that all that's happening is you're slipping into a fear-based mindset. And then I basically describe a strategy that I've used many times in my entrepreneurial journey to break out of this mindset. And it's going to be easier than you think. So there's a whole lot of steps that I'm not going to go through all of them. But basically, what you need to do is you become aware, you take a break, you start observing, you self-care a bit. Take care of yourself first, kindness, compassion. Then we can open up the wound. Then we can see what is going on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to identify our feelings, identify our thoughts, and start actively, and this is very important, actively, intently working on reframing those thoughts. Reframe those thoughts until you put yourself in a hopeful, inspired, entrepreneurial mindset. Because that's all what's happening at that moment. It's not that Everest is really collapsing and the sky is really falling. It just feels that way, but it feels very, very real. So that's why I give you some steps in here that make it easy to follow, easy to do that. So start with daily journaling. That's a very, very good practice. Seek out uplifting company so you don't go through it alone. So if you are going through that, you can message Sondra, like literally.
No, get a Sondra. Get a Permelia.
Like me and Sondra message each other like all the time. And we're like, oh my goodness, this is happening, this is happening. And then we help each other basically reframe those thoughts and get back into hopeful, inspired. Because all that's happening is you need to move away from fear-based mindset and fear-based reactions and towards hopeful, inspired actions. So I hope that if I gave you like one thing today, you can go and read the whole blog post. We're going to put the link in the chat and in the actual YouTube description box. So you can go and read it if you want to have a look at it. But if you take one thing away from what I've said today, it's when you feel like that, it's normal. All that's happening is you're slipping into a fear-based mindset. And all that you need to do is change that and move yourself towards an entrepreneurial mindset and a hopeful, inspired entrepreneurial mindset. So it's not the end of the world. You don't ever have to, you know that there's hope and you can move out of it. And what's going to happen automatically when you do move into inspired, hopeful entrepreneurial mindset, that is where we are able to create in the moment. That is where we make our best decisions. That is where we are able to build relationships that's going to help pull us out of where we are at. That is where the magic happens. That's what life is about, really. And it's definitely what entrepreneurship is about. So thank you so much, Sondra, for giving me that chance. That is my 5 minutes. That is a little bit more than 5 minutes. But thank you so much for listening to me. And I can't wait what everyone else has to say on this topic as well.
Thank you, Nestene. And we're definitely going to, Susan, who does amazing show notes, we'll definitely be putting the blog post in the show notes. It's already published, so it's out there for everybody to read. And I will make sure the tribe gets that link today. So, because you're in the tribe, you will get early access to it. So I will make sure that link gets put in the tribe group. I was going to go grab it, but then I'm like, that's distracting. So, so here's an interesting statistic to back that up. 80% of people by the third week in January give up, whether it's give up on their resolutions, give up on their goals, give up on whatever the plan they made at the beginning of the year. It's just statistically proven that by the third week, everybody's like, forget it, it's not working, so let me stop doing it. So I know as a goal accountability coach, I really talk about that in the next week or two about how, don't give up. Like, just because something didn't work doesn't mean you give up. You tweak the plan, you find the new motivation, like you said, not fear-based. I like Permelia put, fear, false evidence appearing real. That's I've used that before too. So I really like that for sure. So yeah, I would like to know, well, let's take the temperature. How is everybody doing? We are in the third week of January, and I know my January has not went the way I planned. I knew there was going to be some interesting things and some heavy family medical commitments. But whoa. Ask Nestene, what the heck? Never in my wildest dream did I know that, yeah, the level of commitment and the level of the emotional and mental drain that it has been on me. And yeah, so that's honestly, yeah, it's been very draining, and just making sure I take care of myself has been a huge one. And I've been working super hard for my clients, but not so much for myself. So that's my temperature right now. Like, even this morning in my free goal setting sessions on Monday, that was my reality. Was my wins are for my clients right now. They haven't been for me. They've been for my clients, because I've been working so hard on making sure their stuff at least gets done, and all my time commitments, that I'm not really working on my business. So that's my honest temperature. Anybody want to raise their hand and tell us the temperature where oh, go ahead, Peter.
I think this year has been like a shock for everyone.
It's been like a train.
Yeah, it's been, we didn't know it was going to start so abruptly. And if I look at all the people in this space, and we know all the people in this space, and we know that every person in this space is either running a business or is an entrepreneur, and the pressures of stepping from the old year into the new year, and that pressure doesn't stop. So it's not like you have a break and then you get back into something. That pressure is real, and it's tough. I mean, if I look at Hendrick's space and how they're building their space out, starting the new year must have been mind-blowing. So, hey, Hendrik, I don't know if you want to jump in and let us know how you're feeling about the topic and the new year.
Thanks, Peter. So I think pressure is the key word there. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and all these New Year's resolutions, we know for a fact they don't work. So I recently read you should actually set intentions for the new year, and that made so much more sense to me. And when Ethan and I started, we said, let's just take it very easy, ease ourselves into this, not put ourselves under pressure. Let's just put the intentions out there and then translate them into goals, and then break those goals down and see if tomorrow we're going to look at how do we actually then reach those goals and satisfy those intentions practically with due dates and all of those sort of things. But our year started really great. Now, Nestene, I must just sidetrack slightly and say, you've been a prophet and you didn't know it. You've been saying Baird Media is going to become the Gimlet Studios of South Africa. And you might know that we were supposed to make a short film, couldn't raise the money for it. And now Thomas asked us to turn it into a podcast, an audio drama podcast. So we went to see studios today. I've been working on the script furiously for the past few weeks. It's looking really great. And we are approaching it like you make a movie. We're going to have a whole production team and obviously some great actors and so on. But from my research, there's no audio dramas that we can find in this country. I know they're huge in the US. I've been listening to Homecoming and series like that, which are awesome. So for us, it's really exciting. Also, you know, we worked really hard on our website last year. I did our whole rebrand with Natasha and really tweaked the website. And it's so far, we've been getting really great feedback. So for us also, it's been, I mean, we're 2.5 years, going on 3 years in June, which everybody says is the magic number. So it's been a sort of a clarification process, you know, finding out exactly what it is that we want to do, that we can do. And so temperature here is really hot and bubbling and boiling and exciting. We're cooking.
Oh, it's me. Never mind. Thank you, Hendrik. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you guys. And Tasha's amazing. I'm going to keep it under my wraps, but you all can read what I wrote because it's not going to be public yet. So we're gonna keep that under wraps, but I'll let the tribe know that. Yes, I love that. Yeah, like you said, Nestene is great at like this will happen, and sometimes it's not in our timing. It's, you know, it's in somebody else's timing. And I love intentions over resolutions and goals, and breaking down the steps and so on and so forth. So I know that is very good way to look at things. So so to be transparent, I knew that my family commitments were going to be higher than my business commitments this month. I've been very open and honest about that when the opportunity came about for my child to be in this intensive program medically. So it's not a shock, and I'm just okay with it, and we'll keep moving forward. So I can honestly say that it was not a surprise as far as that goes. So Mr. L, I'm not going to ask you. Hello.
Hello, Sondra. And great to see the two Hendricks joining us today together. And awesome to have Nestene with us today. Mr. Infectious Laugh. You know, each time she laughs, I just, yeah. Temperature for this year, I'm still cool. I haven't gone into that high pressure yet. And what helped was the previous discussions we had where you need to plan, you need to pace yourself, you need to take care of yourself, and don't overwork yourself, you know. And I know where Hendrik comes from when he says it's cooking, probably with gas because there's no Eskom. But it's all the things that you have done, that you're doing, that you want to see them coming out. You want to see them, what's the term? You want to see them happening, So it's not as if he's under pressure. It's not as if it's hot that he's now going to go into hibernation. It's hot because things are happening, which I am happy about. We spoke with Hendrik about 2 weeks ago. And in that heat, I'm involved. So, yeah. But I'm still okay. Business is going well. I've planned for my year, and I'm taking things as easily as one can. Of course, consciously making time for breaks so that I don't break down. But yeah, business is going. We will be happening. Thank you, Sondra.
Oh, awesome. Lesetja, the one thing that you mentioned that is actually highlighted for me was towards the end of last year, we kind of created a little bit of a series of preparation. And we went through this preparation, I think it was about 3 episodes of preparation for the new year, how to step into the new year. And then when the new year started, we kind of navigated how did we do with how we were preparing, and did we actually step into the new year correctly? And I think that preparation actually really helped. It really did, because it kind of took the pressure off how you end off the year and how you step into the new year. So I think, like decision wise, I think towards the end of each year, we should do that. It really helps. Even if we're pushing out those episodes outside of doing our Monday show, just to be out there, because I think it really helped. It helped a lot. It created a space where we could understand how to wind down, what was expected of us, how to break it down, how to prep and plan for the new year, how to set those intentions, how to not put so much pressure on yourself, how to deal with the pressure if you do. And I think those things are really important. And all the people that were at those shows are actually here right now. So they're all kind of going, yes, that's actually what happened. That's how it worked. And it was brilliant. Permelia would know, she was there, which I think is about the right time to bring Permelia into this conversation. You want to jump in, Permelia?
Thank you. Well, I love the topic, mindset. You're talking my language. Nestene, your blog post was right on. I have a question. Why is it always 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. for some reason is always the time to wake up and go, oh my God, what have I done? But I really truly believe by switching that around, and all of the points that you made, Nestene, in your blog, about realizing that's normal, realizing that we're all pioneers. We're pioneers in the entrepreneurial world, and so it's not going to be comfortable. And so we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because we're plotting the way and making it happen. I also really love the whole idea of looking at where we are and then, where we're going. And that I did that at the end of last year, because I was writing my very first newsletter for the first newsletter for 2024. And I thought, okay, what am I going to say? And then I looked back at all the things that we had done with the Healing Institute in a year. Like a year ago, we were just barely live. There was just so many things that we had accomplished in the year. And that really helped me then look at, okay, wow. Even though, at times it really felt like hard slogging and there was a lot of 2 a.m.s waking up, wondering what the heck I was doing. But 3 a.m. for Hendrik. Okay, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Okay, around then. So I think Peter's point around doing some planning at the end of the year. And we were so blessed to have Sondra do that workshop for us. That has really helped me. I still have all my goal action lists right here. And I go through it. I have an accountability partner, and we meet every Sunday afternoon to plan for the new week. And so I can go through those and go, oh my gosh, I didn't get that done last week. Okay, better put that up to the top. So those were so helpful. Yeah, but mindset is really, really important. And what our thoughts are, and I think, Nestene, you touched on our negative self-talk. If you find yourself doing that, be aware and then switch it around and change the wording. So I follow a fellow here in North America. He's actually from Florida. His name's Mike Dooley, and he's got Notes to the Universe. And so his phrase is, thoughts become things. So pick the good ones. Because that's what it all starts with, our thoughts. And if our thoughts aren't positive, and if they're not uplifting, and if they're not moving us forward, then that's exactly what happens. So thank you.
I love that. I love that, Permelia. Yes, your subconscious guides your conscious. So what are you feeding your mind is super, super important. Are we doing things like Nestene said? Are we journaling? Are we watching and listening to positive things? Or are we listening to the negatives? I'm not a turn on the news first thing in the morning. I don't want to hear how bad the world is doing. My husband likes to, and I walk out of the room. I'm like, nope, this is not for me. This is not how I'm starting my morning. I do not want to listen to no, thank you. Let me go put on music or a positive podcast, because I can't do it. I always have to walk out of the room because that's just not my jam. I understand some people need to track the news for business purposes, but I think you could do it in a way that it's not the first thing you do, so that you can look at things positively. But yeah, mindset is extremely important. I will get on family members when it's always about the negative. They don't ever have anything positive to say. And it's like, it sure is miserable in your life. Like you woke up today, so you have something positive to say. You're here. And I'm very big on celebrating wins. Like Permelia said, I'm very big on reviewing, celebrating wins, which is something I also do in the free Monday goal setting sessions. Is we start with wins. I don't ask you what was your goal. I ask for your wins. Voice. What are your wins? And your wins are not always tied to the goals from the week before. The wins are your wins. So again, maybe you didn't reach a single goal from last week, like Permelia said. Okay, you figure it out how you're going to get it done, but there's still something to celebrate. Something happened good in your life. So focus on that. And yes, you still need to get the work done, and I get that. I'm not ignoring that, but at the same time, it's a little bit like, oh, okay, like Permelia said, hey, there's definitely been roller coasters and mountains to climb this year in my business, but we're here. We're here a year later. I've met amazing people. She's doing live shows on Fridays on LinkedIn. Like, she's crushing it. I see her doing it. So, Hendrik, come on in. Hendrik B. I need to start saying which Hendrik.
Yeah, thank you. You can say Hendrik Baird now. So and I'm sure Permelia knows what I'm going to be talking about. Working through something called the Course in Miracles at the moment, and one of the things I'm learning there is something called attack thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts attack us, and so it links up with something called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, where it says that everything that we see, that we hear, that we experience has been created by us. Our brain is stuck here in this darkness, and our eyes see, so light comes in, it gets translated into electrical signals, which goes into the brain, and then the brain tries to make sense of it. So everything that we experience up here has been somehow manufactured by ourselves and by our brains, and it's not necessarily the truth. In fact, it's mostly illusion. And I like what Permelia said earlier, false evidence appearing real. It is an illusion. and we live in this illusionary world of beliefs that we think are true and who we supposedly think we are, and what, what is right for me and what I like and what I don't like and all those sort of things. And it's how do you cut through that and get to the real truth of things, and really let go of the illusions and find out what is actually real, what is really happening in this moment. So for me, it's been a bit of a process, because a few years ago, well, I had the heart attack about 11 years ago now, this January. But 2 or 3 years after that, one day I said, I'm living in an illusion. I'm living a life that I can't sustain. It's all make believe. It's like a big magic trick that I've created for myself. And I need to get rid of that. And it's been a very long and slow process, cutting away, and just getting to who am I really? What it is that's really, really important. Like you said, waking up in the morning. What is it that you do first thing in the morning that sets the tone for your day? For me, it's a bit of yoga, doing the daily Course in Miracles thing. I'm on day 107 or something. And it's about meditation, sitting down, keeping quiet, trying to calm my mind down and getting down into my heart where things really are, where the truth really resides, and listening to that deep inner voice. We were talking about the subconscious mind. As a hypnotherapist, I know also how the subconscious has been shaped by the things that happened to us even before we were born, when you were in mommy's tummy, and even perhaps before that, or things that happened when you were very small that you obviously can't remember, but it shaped who you are. And how do you carve that away? How do you break that away? How do you reframe that and go, what is really important? Which brings me to the topic you were talking about earlier, Nestene, about entrepreneurial thoughts, and how do you do that? So as a creative who comes from the theater, it's really hard to bend my mind into, okay, let's make money out of this. For me, it's always about, what can I do that's creative and exciting? And the very last thing on the page 20 of my list is, oh yes, we should make money off this. And this is something Ethan and I have said this year is the mindset we have to change also. I said to him, I'm happy to write whatever, but first show me the money. I don't want to just do things for my own creative satisfaction, which is really important to me as well. But as we're running a little business here, and obviously we want to get paid at some point, we've got to change that mindset too, and break through that illusion of who we think we're supposed to be and what the business really is all about, and how do we leave a real legacy. And those sort of things cost money to make. If we've got to make a show, and thank goodness we've got a client now for this first big podcast we're making, the audio drama, with a half decent budget, so we can actually do something really good and have an example up. And then we've got big plans to do some big things with some big amounts of money. So yeah, mindset is truly important. I really applaud you for this topic tonight. That's my other 2 cents, Sondra.
Oh, awesome. Hendrik, I think one of the questions that you asked was probably one of the most important questions, was how. That was one of the most important questions that you asked, was how do we actually? And I think for me, in creating that illusion for ourselves that we are living in, the stressful, fast-paced illusion of a situation that we're in where it feels like the walls are crumbling and the sky is falling, we tend to support that illusion by using a particular language with ourselves. And that's that negative language, that negative mindset, that negative. And I think the how starts with the awareness, because generally people are not aware of the language that they use with themselves. So they're therefore not aware of how to actually step out or change that. So I think it starts with awareness. It starts with realizing the language that you're using, realizing that a change needs to take place. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. They get stuck between the awareness and the how. They get into that. And then when people tell them, oh, this is the space that you're stuck in, they battle to see it. but it's evident. The evidence is there. So I think it starts with awareness, and I think that's where you can take what Permelia said and what Hendrik, what you said, and you can kind of mash it all together. And once you have the awareness, there are the steps as to the how. So I think it's really important that we pay attention how we speak to ourselves in our minds. It's like taking a thought and actually taking it captive, like a prisoner, and going, hold on a second, you're not supposed to be there. You're not the way I need to be talking to myself. This is actually the way, and almost creating positive affirmation for yourself. But at the same time, if you then are still surrounded by the same wrong people, it doesn't take long to slide right back into that old way of thinking, and the old way of talking to yourself, and the old way of allowing other people to talk to you, or the creation of that mindset. So awareness is number one. Be aware, and then surround yourself with the right people, because the right people will actually encourage you on the path of creating the right mindset, because they're doing the same thing. They're on the same journey. So I think that's absolutely stunning. I think you guys absolutely nailed it on the head. That's brilliant.
Can I also say something?
No, because Lesetja's hand was up first.
You put my hand down.
Oh no, I didn't. Don't worry, your hand is there. Lesetja, you want to jump into this conversation?
No, Peter, what you're doing to Nestene, I really don't like. I think she should be able to say something before I say something.
You know what? Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Lesetja. I love you so much. I have a lot to say. First of all, I can't wait to hear how Hendrick Mohlahlo, I think, is doing as well. We haven't spoken in forever, but I just know you always have like amazing things up your sleeve. So I can't wait to hear. And then Hendrik Baird Media, I knew it. I've always said it. I have to be the first person. You have to promise that this tribe will be the first people that have the link to that podcast once it gets produced. Because we're going to be raving in this tribe. Because then we got our own like Baird Media.
We told you so.
And Permelia, it's so nice to see you again. You're just like this ray of sunshine and vibrancy and wisdom, and I love you so much, and I'm so happy that you're here today. And Lesetja, you are just epic and just like, yes, just always there. Absolute rock. I love you so much. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak as well, because someone has to.
Somebody's got to be in charge, eh?
What I want to say quickly is how, and I think this might also help some people that aren't. So if you've been like reframing thoughts for a while, I feel like the more you do it, obviously, the better you get at it. So it's like riding a bike. But in the beginning, when people told me, okay, you have to take your thought, identify it, and then reframe it, I was like, that is not gonna happen. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, I don't have a better word for it. Like, how am I supposed to make up a thought and then tell people that I believe it? I don't believe it. Right now I'm angry, so I believe this angry thought. Now you want me to change it and then believe something completely different. Like, what's wrong with you? That doesn't have any integrity for me. But then I found this really cool podcast person. Her name's Alison Carmen. If you guys ever, what is her, I can't remember. It's 10 minutes to less suffering. 10 minutes to less suffering. She talks about the maybe practice. And that was such a change for me. I also talk about it in the blog post. Because what you do then is you identify like what's wrong. So you will write down your thought, for example, say, Peter hates me because he never reads my WhatsApps or responds to me. Right? You write down that. But then you make up a whole bunch of maybe statements. And the way the maybe practice works is if you're not completely sure that something awful is going to happen, which you can never be because you can't predict the future, then there's maybe. And if there's maybe, there's hope. So then you start telling yourself, maybe Peter doesn't hate me.
Maybe
He's
Peter's
just busy.
maybe Peter's busy. Maybe his phone's dead.
Maybe he'll talk to me tomorrow. Maybe I don't know, maybe, but you just keep on telling yourself these maybe statements, and they're a lot easier to believe than completely reframing the thought. So if you're in this moment and you're like thinking of your thought and you're like, I have to, so for example, like eventually you want to probably be like, if you have a thought of, I cannot possibly deliver this webinar, you want to get to the point where you're like, I understand that this webinar is very important to me, so it's very important that it goes well, but I do believe that I am going to be able to do my best and people will love my best. You want to get there, but the way to start to get there is maybe it's possible that this webinar will go well. Maybe even if the webinar doesn't go well, I still meet some really cool people. Maybe, and you just keep going. Just try it out. Just trust me, you got to try it out. So that's my 2 cents.
Maybe I will.
Well, maybe that will be a good thing. And then the favorite thing that she always says is, maybe the best is yet to come. So that's the last maybe statement that you always write down. And it's such a hopeful statement. It's so inspiring. So I just wanted to give you guys that 2 cents as well. So over to you, Lesetja.
Thanks, Nestene. Maybe we are going to be very rich. Hendrik, maybe. I think what you're bringing in, Nestene, and I think I want to be short because I've looked at the time and I need Hendrick Mohlahlo to be able to speak as well. What you're bringing in, Nestene, is in this whirlwind, you just need to be aware that you are in the whirlwind, okay? And what you do within that, it is going to determine whether you are out of it or not. So be aware that you are in there. Make sure that you take all the steps to get out of it successfully, so then you will win. And I love the coffee shop show because I learn so much. And today I learned about NLP, Hendrik. Is it NLP? There we go. So we're learning. This space is for learning. Thank you so much. And this is Lesetja Mokou from Litmok, your business development specialist.
Love that, Dr. or Mr. L. Yes, learning. And that's what the coffee shop show is about, is us being able to share our knowledge and learn from each other. I'm very big on communities that learn from each other. I've walked away from huge communities that it was all about the leaders. It wasn't about supporting and learning and teaching each other. So I'm all for that. That's super important. Permelia, I'm going to let Hendrik M go just because we want to make sure we hear from him. And thank you, Nestene, for calling him out so I didn't have to do it. Hi, Hendrik.
Good evening, everyone. My thinking when it comes to fear or anything that brings out one out of their own comfort zone is I'll always live as someone who's young. I'll always have the mindset of a toddler or of someone who just wants to do things. As a kid, you don't worry about the consequences. As a kid, whatever your dream is, you'll go for it, irrespective of who is there in the way, who's trying to advise you otherwise. As a kid, that's how I just choose to start my day every day. I start my day as a kid, forgetting whatever went wrong yesterday, but taking the lessons and the learnings from what went wrong and improving from that. So in a nutshell, that's just me, the way I transfer my fear to fuel my goal or what I want to achieve. That is Hendrik Mohlahlo, a managing director of a lifting and rigging company called Tirisano from Mpumalanga.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I think as adults, we tend to hold onto that fear And as children, we kind of don't see it. It is like this fearless, this is my dream. I want to be Batman. I'm going to be Batman and nothing's going to stop me. But then you become an adult and then the fear of jumping off a building gets in the way. So, I think sometimes we get controlled by those fears, but we don't have to be. Not that I'm saying jump off a building. Don't do that. Don't do that. But that unbridled passion that a child has in regards to their dreams, they don't seem to experience that fear, and it actually can drive you really far, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Permelia, you want to jump into this conversation again?
Sure. So thank you so much, Hendrik B, for bringing Course in Miracles, because guess what I have on my, that's my little, I just restarted the lessons January 1st, because there's 365 lessons. Now this is the 4th time. I've been studying this since 2014. So this is the 4th time I'm doing the lessons. Guess what today's lesson is? I won't make you guess. I am determined to see things differently. So I had to just share that. I happen to have it on my desk because I have to read that piece 5 times today. And I had to put little date times by it so that I would remember. Don't get caught up in just being in front of this screen. So a couple of things that came up. I think Hendrik Baird talked about the practice. I know Sondra talked about not watching the news first things in the morning. And I think that's really important for the way you start your day and the way you end your day. So, I mean, I have a yoga practice, so I get up an extra hour early. So I have a yoga meditation practice that I do. I have my yoga mat out in my living room. Luckily, my husband is a night owl, so he's not up in the morning when I am. So I have the living room to myself. I'm a Course in Miracles student, so that's when I make my tea and read my lesson for the day. And then at the end of the day, I have a gratitude journal. So I write in my gratitude journal all the things that I've been grateful for that happened during the day. And I just want to share with you, you can look for it. We often think that we have to make it happen. We have to make our business happen. We have to find those clients. We have to do. And I just want to share with you, and you may have watched it already. There was an interview with Oprah Winfrey by Jamie Kern Lima. And in that interview, Oprah talked about how much she wanted to be in the movie Color Purple. She'd never acted before in her life because she really felt it was her story. She read the book and it was her story, and then she knew that's how she felt. It was really, truly her story. She wanted to play the part. She was going up against very other actresses that had lots of experience. And she said when she finally allowed it, whatever was going to happen, that's when Steven Spielberg called her and told her that she was going to get the part. And she was trying to lose weight because she thought she wasn't going to get the part because she was overweight. And he said, don't lose a pound or you won't get the part. So allowing, I think that's my point, is that we often don't do that piece. And certainly that's part of the law of attraction. You want to figure out what you do want. You want to make a definitive statement or create a vision board or whatever you want, whatever works for you. And then we just have to give it up to the universe, God, whatever you believe in, because really, we always want, we don't know. My story about the Healing Institute was I was going to have a building here in my city where I live on Vancouver Island. And then COVID hit. And now I'm hanging out with these amazing networking people all over the world. So I say, well, God thought, no, Permelia, we're not going to do a little building on Vancouver Island. We're going to do something just a little bit bigger than that. So that's how the Healing Institute became a virtual global hub for holistic practitioners. So I think we need to practice. My point is we need to practice the allowing more. So thank you. Oh, we got 7 minutes left.
Love it, Permelia. And I love watching your journey in the last year and a half. And I have been in the Healing Institute before, so I do know. Yeah, it is a process. And what do we allow? Where do we allow our thoughts go? Where do we allow our dreams to go? I know that's one of the reasons we end the show the way we end the show with the amazing Nestene's quote, which she will get to say this time. So yeah, we are getting close to the end of our time. Peter, you want to say something, and then I'll do announcements, yada yada yada, and then we'll let Nestene close us out.
Sure. I think it's actually such a privilege just to be part of a space where we actually are part of each other's learning journey, and we actually are part of each other's successes. If we look at our space a year ago, and then we look at the journey that some of those people have been on, and how everybody has been a little bit of a part of everybody's journey. Like we were speaking before, and Hendrik was like, no, Natasha was part of my rebrand. And then I know that Sondra, you're going through your rebrand, and I know Natasha's part of that. And then there's Somerville that's doing a little part of this. And then everybody's got their little part to play. And literally we are taking a journey, but we're taking the journey as a group. And that learning journey, it's actually such an honor to be part of it, because we learn on the way and we grow on the way. So this has been absolutely incredible. If I look at the spaces that we have now been allowed to step into because we have access to each other, has been absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. So that
Speaking
would be...
speaking of spaces, event, GeoSyn, Goslin coming up, right?
That would be on the 25th, 29th, the last Thursday of the month.
Nope, Thursday. It's the last Thursday of the month, right?
The last Thursday of the month.
Is this week?
Is this week? Oh my goodness me.
Thank you for remembering. I don't have my calendar up, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's either this Thursday or the following Thursday. There's not that much January left, Peter.
Yeah, not much of January left.
The 25th.
It's the 25th. It was my first guess. The 25th.
Later this week.
It's going to be absolutely incredible. We are inviting entrepreneurs from around the world to get together to experience a networking space that is not like any other, because no, we are not going to be doing elevator pitches. No, we're not going to be marketing ourselves to each other. It's purely based on come and meet some entrepreneurs from around the world. It's all about relationship building. So you don't have to prepare your elevator pitch. It doesn't matter whether you have a loud mouth or whether you are shy. It doesn't matter if all you have to do to qualify is be an entrepreneur and be nice. If you're out there and you're pushy, don't bother coming. We don't want you. But if you're out there and you're an entrepreneur and you're passionate about being an entrepreneur, come have some fun and meet some amazing people. A lot of us that are in this space will be there. There'll be some other people in the space, and we have fun. So
I have to, if I may, I want to share. I was on a networking group this morning with Jeff Sira, and he had invited me to this earlier morning one, which I went to just to support him. And it was Jeff that I met at I think it was November's Goshen. And now people ask me, how do you meet Jeff? I'm like, this is the way the world works now. We met on a South African networking platform. We're both in the Pacific Standard Time, West Coast. I'm in Canada, he's in California, time zone, but this is how we met. So I love telling that. I need to hop off, I'm afraid, because I have a client. So this is awesome. I'll see you all Thursday. Looking forward to it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Sondra, over to you.
Yes. So amazing conversation. I am so happy that everybody participated fully. Mindset is definitely a topic that I truly enjoy talking about. And I'm grateful that Nestene wrote this blog post, which I am going to read. It's full transparency. I've not read it yet, but I will definitely make a point to do that. So yes, we want to thank Susan, who does all our covers, our show notes. She also turns the YouTube channel into a podcast on Spotify. Make sure you like, share, and follow. My goal is to grow the YouTube channel drastically. I have some great things in mind, and one of them is doing, including the Business Academy and how that's going to help us grow. So make sure you are sharing this across the board, and Susan's going to work ahead and have shows scheduled so the tribe can pre-promote, not post-promote. We want to post-promote, of course, but we're going to start pre-promoting the lives because you will have full access to them being scheduled. Her and I had a conversation about that this morning. And I am Sondra Ray. I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching and VA Services. I'm your goal accountability coach who helps you get things done by helping you create bite-sized action plans. Miss Nestene, you're going to take us out because I'm not saying your quote. It's your quote.
Everyone in this call is absolutely amazing. You are not maybe going to be stinking rich. You are definitely going to be stinking rich. And then Baird Media is maybe going to make the South African version of the Startup Entrepreneur Series all about everyone in this room. So until we see you next time, I'll absolutely love all of you. You are so amazing. Remember how awesome and incredible you are. And may all your